in the heart of a vibrant forest where ancient trees reached for the sky and hidden wonders awaited, lived a curious little kitten named Muezja. Every day was an adventure for Muezja, but today would be different as the sun dappled through the leaves, painting the forest floor in mosaic patterns of light and shade. Muezja was in her element. Her orange tabby fur, sleek and shiny, glistened like burnished copper as she chased a butterfly. Her movements were graceful, her lithe body weaving between the trees with feline ease. Her emerald green eyes sparkled with mischief and delight. Today, something was calling to her. A whisper in the wind, a rustle in the leaves, and Muezja, ever the explorer, felt compelled to follow. And then she heard it, a faint sound, a whimper lost in the symphony of the forest. Muezja paused, her ears pricked, her whiskers twitching. She sniffed the air, her keen nose detecting a scent that didn't quite belong, a whiff of fear and helplessness. Curiosity and concern battled within her, but her brave little heart urged her forward. Cautiously, she ventured deeper into the woods. The path was strewn with fallen leaves, crunchy under her paws, and Muezja moved with silent grace. Sunlight filtered through the canopy overhead, casting long shadows that danced around her. As she rounded a thick bush, her heart skipped a beat. There, nestled amongst the roots of a giant oak, was a sight that made her gasp. Tangled and alone, a tiny lion cub lay curled up, his little body shivering. He was all of about 2 months old, barely bigger than a house cat. With a whimper that tugged at Muezja's heartstrings, he struggled to rise, his legs wobbling beneath him. His golden fur, usually a symbol of strength and power, was matted and dirty, and his normally vibrant green eyes were dull with fear and exhaustion. Muezja approached slowly, hesitantly, unsure how to proceed, but something compelled her forward. Gently, she nudged the cub with her nose, and he lifted his head, startled, his eyes wide with fear. For a moment, he just stared at her, and Muezja felt a surge of sympathy. She purred softly, trying to convey gentleness and reassurance. The cub, though wary, seemed to sense her kind intentions, and as Muezja watched, he slowly began to stir. His breathing became more regular, and a flicker of life returned to his eyes. It was a small sign, but to Muezja, it was like a beacon of hope in the darkening forest. Realizing she couldn't help him alone, Muezja dashed back towards her home, racing through the trees, her heart pounding with a mix of excitement and urgency. Reaching the familiar shelter of her home, Muezja burst through the door, meowing loudly, desperate to alert her human, Mehedi. Her human, Mehedi, was a kind and gentle soul, a young man of 27 who found solace and companionship in the quiet wisdom of animals. He was someone who understood Muezja's language, her gestures, her meows, and responded with equal parts affection and respect. At the sound of her insistent meows, Mehedi looked up from whatever task he was engaged in, his eyes crinkling at the corners with a smile. Hearing her distress, he set down what he was doing. His curiosity piqued. As Muezja rubbed against his leg, urging him to follow, she darted towards the door, glancing back expectantly. Understanding dawned on Mehedi's face, and he rose from his seat, a mix of apprehension and intrigue on his features. Following Muezja's lead, he stepped outside. Venturing into the woods, his senses alert. As they journeyed deeper into the forest, the air grew heavy with anticipation. The sunlight filtering through the trees took on a golden hue, casting long, dramatic shadows that mirrored Mehedi's own unease. Then, like a sudden clearing in the darkness, Muezja stopped, her gaze fixed on something ahead, peering through the trees. Mehedi's eyes widened in surprise. Before him, nestled among the roots of an ancient tree, lay a sight that tugged at his heartstrings. There, curled up in a ball, was a tiny lion cub, his small frame shivering despite the mild autumn day. A wave of emotion washed over Mehedi. Concern etched lines on his forehead as he knelt beside the cub. Gently, he extended a hand, his touch feather light as he stroked the cub's matted fur. The cub stirred, lifting his head, his large green eyes filled with a mixture of fear and hope. In that instant, Mehedi felt an overwhelming sense of responsibility. This cub, so small, so helpless, needed him, and without a moment's hesitation. He knew he wouldn't leave the little creature's side. Carefully, Mehedi scooped up the cub, cradling him close. The cub snuggled into his embrace, his tiny claws finding purchase in Mehedi's sweater. As Mehedi stood, the cub instinctively wound his little paws around his finger, burying his face in the crook of Mehedi's hand. Walking steadily, Mehedi made his way back home, his steps lighter with every stride, buoyed by the cub's trust in him. As he entered his home, Muezja led the way, her tail held high, her eyes shining with purpose. Inside, Mehedi settled the cub on a soft blanket, creating a haven of warmth and safety. Muezja, ever watchful, kept a close eye on the cub, her presence a silent promise of comfort and support. Hours passed, filled with the quiet routine of tending to the